Hey guys, well the 2020 rally season is now upon us and we've got a bit of work to do on the old 34 Plymouth, nicknamed Deathproof. So just to give you a bit of an idea, last time we went out we had some issues with our T5, so we completely destroyed third gear. We haven't pulled it out yet, we've ignored it for about 6 months, so it's time to pull that out and rebuild it. We've also got some issues with our exhaust. We had some fatigue cracking. We're going to build a smaller, shorter system to hopefully eliminate that. And we've got to deal with some suspension work and just a general once over. So let's get it started, shall we? A little bit more. Okay, let him go. Oh yeah, look at that crack.
Oh! Let's get that bad boy out of there.
She's McFucked.
See where she's at. McFucked. This one won't be right, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright guys, a couple of hours later, we've now got the old T5 out and she's well and truly shagged. Let's take a bit of a look. You can see some splits here on the main case. It's a common problem with the T5. They tend to spread the cluster of main shaft gears apart, and as you can see, we've got the resulting crack. We're going to pull it apart and we're going to see what the damage is inside. Let's check it out. A little, not much.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Truth.
Let's see what destroyed. Ooh, I think we might have issues.
Why isn't this coming off?
We might have to cut this for you guys and figure out why we're fucking up and come back so we actually look good.
We never look good.
No, that's true. So we'll just keep going, fuck it. She'll be right.
She'll be right.
There we go. That was the moment of truth. Whoop.
So
there's our
no obvious damage in the back that we can see. There's no split on the rear that we can see, but let's pop the top cover off and find out.
Here we go.
Oh dear, look at third gear.
And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is our problem.
Here's the problem. And if we have a look down here, you can see a few little teeth down the base where the magnet is. That's one shag T5 gearbox. Only good for spares maybe. And you can see where the case is split between the cluster and main shaft gears.
All the way through. So apparently this is a common problem with the T5s, Michael, you were saying?
Yeah. So third gear and fifth gear are the weakest, but because third gear, if you actually have a look, it's more or less in the middle of the gearbox. So the two of them essentially try to climb each other and they split like so. That creates a split in the case, and then of course you get this result of shredded gears.
Very good. Well, not very good.
Not particularly.
But won't happen again.
But we've got a G-Force T5 case to replace it, so it's got a lot thicker walls, it's a lot less webbing, and it's heavier duty, and of course we've got a stronger straight cut gear set, so hopefully that should resolve it. Alright, so now it's time for me to get the contents of this case here into this one. So we've got the roll pin taken out of this here, and we should be able to knock that reverse shaft out. So now it's all been transferred over, we've got to put the roll pin back in, and then we can put the main cluster shaft in. So we've just currently laid out the main shaft in the rough position and order that it's going to go in, so let's take a bit of a look, shall we? We've got top gear here, that's fourth gear. Then we have our shifter for third and fourth, that's third gear here. Then we have ourselves second gear, the shifter between first and second, and that's first gear. Over here we've got the shifter for 5th gear, and if we actually move along here, we can see our brand new 5th gear, which is you can see is quite a bit chunkier compared to the originals, and we're going to have ourselves a slightly taller ratio, so we'll have a 0.74 ratio as opposed to 0.56. And this is our synchro for 5th gear. It's the only gear that is not dog engagement. And of course we've got our main shaft. Time to assemble it.
I wish I could figure out how to zoom on this fucking thing. Shit, that was filming.
Oh, okay. There we go. Main cluster is in. Now we can put the front together. You can see we've got a whole heap of bearings in there. It's held together with a little bit of grease just so they don't fall out on installation. Line it up, and in it goes, and as you can see, that's how the shifter will work. That's 4th gear, that's 3rd gear, this is 2nd gear, that's 1st gear. So we know that that's all working and lined up. Let's go and put this front bearing mount on. We're going to put a little bit of silicone on this because there are no gaskets on the T5, they're all silicone together. A little bit of thread lock on these. So here's our 5th gear ready to go in. Let's assemble that. There we go. Let's get that to mesh. Okay. Time to put the cover on. First,
second, third, fourth, fifth. Box and do it all at the same time, and there's reverse.
We have all 5 forward
Beautiful.
gears, and we have our reverse gear, so ready to put it in the car. So moving forward, after removing the old clutch, which is over here, we've got a brand new one with 26 spline for the new input shaft. So we'll pop that back in. So hit a bit of a snag, boys and girls, but I don't think it's too much of an issue. We've used a gearbox that we thought was essentially the same as the Ford. I think it has been Holden. The shifter is about 2 inches further forward than the Ford one, but we do believe we can make it work. Come and check it out. If you see these 2 holes here, they used to be where the holes were for the front of the shifter, and these 2 used to be back here. So it's probably about an inch and a half further forward realistically. Now we've had a look at some of our measurements for the shifter, and we're going to modify it. It's going to sit about as high as this where the hole is by the time we modify it, which will actually work quite well when I want to shift forwards and rearwards and use the handbrake virtually side by side. So we've decided that we're going to open up the floor and we're going to keep it as is rather than putting the forward shifter and the shift rail back on.
apologise for the light. People, it's pretty dark in here in overcast day in Sydney.
Righto guys, so we've got another small snag. If we take a look at this plate, I've now cut it. You'll notice that this is on an angle. Let me show you why. As you can see, we've got a gearbox mount that's on a slight angle. That would be because it's from a GM. It also doesn't line up exactly where it used to if we take a look. So it sits a bit further forward. So this plate's going to go in there. Let's lift it all up. Let's get it back into place and weld it. And here it is, all welded in place. So with that, the gearbox is now in place, but of course rallying wouldn't be rallying if there wasn't some drama. And of course that's much the same when you're dealing with things like rally preparation. In this case, it's the old ratty here behind me. It's decided to spring a leak from the fuel tank, I believe, so let's go and investigate that, shall we? So here we have the fuel tank. We can see there's quite a bit of dirt underneath. Even though I cleaned it out, it still gets in there. I have a feeling that's created some corrosion between the tank and the floor, creating a leak. So let's pull it out and take a closer look. Literally just come out. Didn't undo a damn thing. I don't believe that's the source of the leak, but it's not impossible. Still going to pull the tank out just to be sure. So with the tank being dry, I'm now going to lie it back on its belly. I'm going to see if there's any obvious discoloration as it turns darker, if there's any fuel leaking. Let's see what we've got. And there we have it. There's 2 holes. Time for a replacement tank. And before I fit this tank, I really should have a look at this fuel sender whilst I'm at it to make sure it's working and there's no rust inside the tank. That'll be my luck. Son of a bitch. Well, not only does that look like crap, broken the rubber seal as well. Well, despite a bit of lubrication, that centre shaft there is seized. This outer part's moving. It shouldn't be. It should be moving with the inner. So I'm going to have to try to do a mix and match between the old and the new sender. She'll be right. This one's pretty decent, so I'll probably disconnect that and weld it onto the other one and make it work more or less like it should. So with a bit of lithium grease on an old seal and the wires now resoldered, it's time to put it in. Thankfully that's all sorted now, so we can keep on going. So back to rally car stuff. I need to take care of this exhaust that's been absolutely clobbered. So I need to pull this out, do a very rough repair because she'll be right, and then continue the shield that's along there because clearly the stones are still hitting this piece. After that, I'm going to make a shortened open pipe piece. I think this exhaust is far too heavy and it just keeps on fatigue cracking. Last time we came out, cracks like these caused us issues with the O2 sensor using the Holly Sniper. So basically this is now going to be the street exhaust and the track exhaust. I'm going to add this to be the open pipe system. I've got to weld these on and cut them appropriately. Better get it done. And here we have our race pipe set up. So this should be interesting to see what it sounds like. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up the first half of our video for rally prep for 2020 Bulahdelah. Still got a hell of a lot of work to get through. We've got scrutineering in just over a week's time, so join us as we scramble to get everything done. Upon us, and we've got a bit of work to do with the old bucket.
Thank God there's an edit button, people. Thank God there's an edit button.
Shut up.
So we would have had 2 reverse gears.
No, we just put the...
No, not funny.
Shut up.
You get it though, like backwards, so revert, yeah.
Of course, if this fucking thing came out, come on.
How many gears do they make?
Shut up.
Well, we've had a tool malfunction. Oh no.
Oh, you're still working.
Oh, wow. Fucking hell, that was quick for you.
Shut up.
Look guys, I'm just gonna have to turn this off because we'll be here all fucking night if we keep going.
I said shut up.
See mate, you just need my quality skilled hands involved.
Fuck off.
20 hours later.
Shut up.
Stop recording. Stop recording. GoPro stop. GoPro fetch. Stop.
Son of a bitch. Oh, fucking...
Fuck you.